Because I believe in fear, we're looking at what we really don't know. And we are speculating and making assumptions and getting ourselves all worked up about something you have no control over. And I think that for me, I've been able to succeed in so much in my life because there's something that I think about in my head all the time. And I think about fear and faith, like oil and water. You can't mix them. You know what I mean? It's either or. You got to do one or the other. And so I choose to jump.
Welcome to Season 3 of the Amani Experience podcast. In this podcast, you will experience wisdom, advice, and stories from creatives all over the world. Your host is the award-winning Amani Roberts, who is a DJ, music producer, professor, author, and undercover gamer. On the show, we love to share the stories of creative professionals, especially people who have gone from the corporate life to the creative life. Once again, welcome to the Amani Experience podcast.
Welcome to episode 106 of the Amani Experience podcast. For this show, we have Natasha Ray with us from Noir Men's Grooming. Three of my favorite things about this show is how Natasha is intentional with her actions, and she speaks about that throughout the entire interview. I respect that. She also shares how she's learned to listen more than talk. I believe she describes the 80-20 rule. Thought that was really, really nice and impactful for all of us. And then she also spoke about living an inside-out life in terms of you have to take care of yourself before you can take care of people on the outside. So I thought that was great. I think you're really going to enjoy this episode. To reach me, you could email me, podcast@amaniexperience.com. Follow me on all the socials, which is @AmaniExperience. And don't forget to donate to the Patreon, patreon.com/AmaniExperience. Thank you all very much for listening, and to the show we go. Our guest today began her career in the late 1990s in Washington, D.C., where she owned a shop on Capitol Hill and operated a mobile nail service that provided manicures and pedicures to assisted living, homes, and hospice. Our guest also worked as a manicurist at the Ritz-Carlton before moving on to the high world of fashion. After relocating to California in 2013, our guest played a fundamental role in establishing and growing the Hammer and Nails grooming salon for guys in Los Angeles as an expert manicurist, and then as the developer and founder of the Organic Body Society, her line of natural ingredient-based grooming. Our guest then founded the Noir Men's Grooming Lounge and her second product line of natural ingredient-based grooming products for men, Noir. I would like to welcome Natasha Ray to the Amani Experience podcast.
Hey, hi.
Hello, how are we doing today?
I'm good. How about you?
We're doing wonderful. We do a geographical check-in. So right now we're in our mobile studio in Manhattan Beach, California. Tell the listeners, where are you from originally?
I am originally from Washington, D.C., Chocolate City.
Yep. The DMV. Love it. How long have you been out here in California?
I've been here about 6 years now.
Okay.
And I love it.
I love it too. How do you compare living in D.C. to living in Los Angeles?
It's a huge difference. I mean, it's really, really different from culture to just everything. And for me, I love my city. I'm always rep D.C., but I'm sorry, D.C., I had to trade y'all for the West Coast.
You see, I have like the 202, 301 on my laptop, so I represent.
It's real.
Yes, it's real. It's real for sure. All right, talk to us about when you first started off working. You were working, I think it was Capitol Hill. You were doing some work there. Kind of tell us from Capitol Hill how you made your transformation, your journey to get you to L.A.
So I'm a manicurist. I've been in the industry for about 18 years right now. Started off just, doing mobile services to people who believed in me, who would let me come to their house and provide hand and foot grooming for them back in D.C., which then transitioned into me owning my own nail salon on Capitol Hill, which was focused on women. And let me just tell you, I brought that together by just really believing in myself, like really reading the book The Secret and just like thinking outside of the box, and manifested that whole situation on Capitol Hill. From Capitol Hill, I started to work in nursing homes and hospice. So I started providing those services for the elderly and just, kept focused on what I wanted to do, which was to get to the West Coast. I was a manicurist for Fashion Week. So I would go back and forth from D.C. to New York, providing services, and then got an agent and started to come to L.A. Once I got out here, it was like, how do I become official in Los Angeles?
Yes.
And it took me about 10 years to get out here, but, once I got out here, it was a life transition. Basically jumped in my car and drove to L.A. Left on a Friday, got here on a Sunday.
And look at you now.
Yeah.
You spent some time at the Ritz-Carlton. You also worked talk to us about how you worked for Essence magazine. That's kind of how you went back and forth from New York, LA. Like, how did that opportunity come to be?
I, again, one day just jumped out there and took the train from DC to New York. It was Fashion Week, weekend, and came across a friend who was working some shows, gave me an opportunity to do some shows, which then turned into me getting connected with an agent. And got with this agent, did one photo shoot with Essence, and they called me onto their roster to basically be a manicurist for the magazine. And so I would go back and forth again, as I mentioned before, from D.C. to New York, working for Essence magazine.
Definitely. What was the experience like being a manicurist, working with hospice and the assisted living homes?
It taught me a lot. It taught me, I'm already a person who has a lot of compassion. So working with the elderly, it really taught me how hand and foot grooming tied into health and wellness. Because at the time when I went to school, we were just, it was really about the aesthetic of it, making a beautiful nail. But when I became a manicurist for the elderly people, it showed me how much massage and things like that was really the key essence to what I was walking into.
Absolutely. Definitely. If we look at where you are right now, how would you summarize yourself in 30 seconds or less?
If we look relentless, a believer, a high achiever, and totally a go-getter, and intentional.
I like that. Good word, intentional. What do you think is important for creative professionals such as yourself, myself, to succeed in today's business environment?
First, I think you need to have passion for whatever it is that you're doing and find your purpose and stick to it. Don't get focused on the Instagram and the social media. You have to literally stay in your lane and know exactly why you're doing what you're doing, and don't be distracted.
Definitely. Yeah, stay in your lane. What inspired you to create and grow your own, the Hammer and Nails grooming salon for guys in LA? How did that idea come to be, and how did you keep that going and grow that whole product?
So when I came out to LA, I, met a gentleman who had an idea, and I had the skills and the know-all about the industry of hand and foot grooming, and literally got an amazing opportunity to help grow and franchise a brand, which in turn gave me the opportunity to go on Shark Tank, to also be on at least 15 different reality shows and launch a product line, which is now in all of the Hammer and Nails that are, all over the place right now. That was from Craigslist.
Wow.
I found that opportunity on Craigslist. Y'all don't sleep on Craigslist. You can really find some great things on Craigslist. And I saw that there was someone hiring for an all-men's nail salon, and I answered the ad.
That's great. Craigslist.
Changed my life.
Such small beginnings can create such beautiful things.
But again, I was intentional.
Yeah.
I was very intentional. I knew what I wanted. And I knew that I had to jump to get it. And so it was different. But at the same time, I went into that with purpose and intent and came out on the back end very happy.
Wonderful. What was it like being on Shark Tank?
Exactly what you see. It's real. Going on Shark Tank, we were very nervous. They're looking at you like some sharks. But it was amazing because it was something that I had been watching on TV and wondering, like, what is that experience? And then to literally do it, it was definitely changed some things about me.
All right, like what?
In the sense of just, again, being intentional again, and just not being afraid to do what you set out to do, like being fearless.
I initially imagined, well, first, before I get to the fear question, did they like offer to fund, or like did you not win, but did someone want to partner with you, one of the sharks?
Well, they didn't believe in us, so I wasn't the person who did the
pitch.
The pitch.
Okay.
I just came on with him to assist and to show what we do at the shop at the time, and no, they didn't believe. They felt that we wouldn't be able to franchise. They felt that we wouldn't be open less than a year, and that nobody would buy into it. They were wrong.
They were wrong, because how many years has it been?
It's been 6 years, and the business is growing, and they've done well.
Okay, we're going to send a little tweet to the Shark Tank account for this episode and be like, how you like me now? Kumo D. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Fear. You mentioned fear.
Mm-hmm.
In your opinion, why does that stop so many people from pursuing what they really want to do?
Because I believe in fear, we're looking at what we really don't know. And we are speculating and making assumptions and getting ourselves all worked up about something you have no control over. And I think that for me, I've been able to succeed in so much in my life because there's something that I think about in my head all the time. And I think about fear and faith, like fear, like oil and water. You can't mix them. You know what I mean? It's either or. You got to do one or the other. And so I choose to jump.
All right. Jump. And you found the wings too.
Yeah, still jumping.
I'm going to read a quote you mentioned in a previous talk. You've said that your feet are the windows to the soul, or to your soul. Mm-hmm. Why does that quote resonate with you?
The feet are the window to the soul because people don't realize how it's an extremity. So in your feet, there's so many nerves. It shows a whole map of your body if you get reflexology. And think about it. The first thing you do when you get out of the bed, what do you do?
Yeah, feet on the ground.
Feet on the ground, 10 toes down. Go ahead, Nip.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's what you know what I mean? And again, that's back to health and wellness because that's my focus. And I believe that with health and wellness, if you know better, you do better. I want to believe that about people, especially because I work with men. That's just something that I believe. A lot of men weren't taught a lot of different things. So if you teach them and you show them, a lot of them will do it.
Yes, we will. Why did you choose men's grooming? There's such, that's most men are, like you say, scared or wary. What inspired you to make that choice in terms of that's the road you're going down?
Growing up in a predominantly male environment my whole life, from having brothers to male cousins to hanging out, I just always resonated with guys, and they always became my homies. Like I've always had a lot of male friends. And with that, I realized, like for me, I would talk about self-care or self-love or journaling or anything like that. And guys would always be like, that's not what dudes do. And for me, I would be looking at them like, and if you did that, maybe you would feel different or respond to things differently. So I just always felt like I had something that I'm supposed to, I'm a healer. I believe that. And I think that is, it starts with the men.
Okay. I love the explanation. When did you realize that this career was for you? Like, when was the turning point? You were like, I'm all in. This is going to work out one or the other. When was that time?
If I had to be, I'm going to be honest with you. So I I was a dental assistant for a while, and something really tragic happened in my life. My children's father was incarcerated. Mm-hmm. And at that time in my life, I had to make some serious decisions. And the biggest decision was, how do you balance being a mother, a single mother, and raising 2 children? And being a dental assistant, I couldn't do that. I had a 9-to-5 job that meant be to work at 8:45, get off who knows when. Nah, I can't do that. So I decided to jump and go all in. and get my nail license and start just marketing myself, however that meant, and just being creative and writing and figuring out how do I create a business. And I did. You know, I never was the little girl polishing my nails. I never thought about being a manicurist. That was not my goal. But, you know, sometimes you, when things get tough, you figure it out.
Figure it out quickly.
Quick.
Yes, definitely. Now, why do you love what you do?
You know what? I love what I do because I feel like every time I don't have a job, first of all. Everybody, I don't have a job. This is my passion and my purpose. So I don't ever feel like I'm going to work. I always feel like I'm going to do what I'm being called to do. So you've had an experience with me, you know
Yes.
what I mean? Like I provide a hand and foot grooming service for you. And it's just, I feel like I'm going to hang out. You know, we going to hang out. We about to talk. I'm about to make you feel better. Hopefully you leave out of there feeling like your shoes larger because I didn't. You know what I mean? We
Yes.
cleaned you up, and I just feel like I make people feel better. That feels good to me.
All right. And that's true. You made me feel real good. I was like, oh, I got to get back quicker, sooner than later.
Sooner than later.
Most definitely. On the flip side, what is something that scares you?
What scares me? What scares me is what really scares me? Not evolving. I like to I like change. Change is good for me. I like to keep growing and being more and doing more and helping others. So to just stay the same and just, you know, the road is just, nah, that don't work.
That's it.
No.
What do you do to continue to evolve?
Continuously educating myself on different things, whether it be about the nail industry. Like right now, I'm training to be a Reiki healer.
Oh,
so I'm
interesting.
working on that. I've already taken multiple reflexology classes, studying to be a medical manicurist. So just constantly evolving myself to the next level because you can't keep it all. You got to be able to give some away, learn some more, and keep giving. And that's how you stay blessed.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
After you learned how to be a Reiki healer, what's next on the list?
After the Reiki, so one part we didn't talk about is I, you know, am no longer with Hammer Nails.
Right.
So I now have my own brand,
Yes.
Which is Noir, Men's Grooming in Beverly Hills. And so I'm currently expanding my business, my salon, which I'm hiring more manicurists.
Okay.
I'm doing a lot of training and teaching other women so that the brand can not only be in Beverly Hills, but also a mobile company as well.
Yes. Okay. That's big then. That's plenty. All right. In general, the grooming industry is very crowded.
Okay.
How do you rise above all the noise and distinguish yourself from the competition?
You know, this may sound crazy, but I really don't pay attention to the competition. I believe when you are in a race, I'm not looking back. I ain't got time to look at you. I got to stay focused on what I'm doing. So for me, I'm going to keep evolving, keep learning, keep giving, keep doing right by my people and my clients, and they going to do them. When you go in the store and you buy bread, it's thousands of different types of bread.
Yes.
They all fit on the shelf.
Yeah.
So that's just my motto in life. I mean, I see you, but I don't really see you.
That's an interesting analogy. I've never heard it put that way before.
Think about it.
The loaves of bread.
Loaves of bread. There's millions different types of breads, but there's one for you, there's one for me. So I believe we can all stand on the same ground and still find our way. So
All right.
I ain't competing with y'all.
Okay. If you were to give someone some advice,
Okay.
say another professional, maybe up-and-coming professional who's struggling with that, struggling with, looking to the side, not staying in their lane, what advice would you give them so that they can stay in their lane?
You gotta find your inner peace. You gotta find what works for you. Do you meditate? Do you go to the beach? Do you read self-help books? Do you write? What do you do to stay in control of yourself? And this was something I had to learn. I'm a little bit older, so
Still very young.
still very young, but at the same time, I had to learn. I had to work on me, the inside, and you got to think about that. It's the inside out, not the outside in. That's a big deal. That's a big deal.
Good. Good. How has a failure or an apparent failure set you up for later success? Do you have a favorite failure of yours?
I do.
All right, talk to us.
So my favorite failure, you guys, was thinking that when I got to LA that being a part of the Hammer and Nails Corporation was the all and get all for me. I thought that was, I had hit it. Boom, that's what you're supposed to do. And God said, no, I'm about to flip the script. You got more in you. It's so much more in you. It's something else that I want you to do. And that something else was me growing inside out, you know, because sometimes you got to take a break.
Yeah.
You gotta start doing some inside work, you know, and learning some things about yourself. And I did that. And he said, nah, I got something else for you. You about to open up your own shop in Beverly Hills. And you about to launch another product line. And you about to help some other people open up shops. You about to be a consultant. So my whole life changed when I thought that my whole life crumbled. And from that, I learned, don't ever think you know what he about to do for you. And sometimes you can't have a plan. You just gotta have faith and believe and trust in the process. And that's what I would say, trust the process. Trust the process.
Okay. What exactly happened? Obviously you're no longer with Hammer and Nails,
No.
but what caused you to have this failure? What was the exact details, if you can share?
So what do you asking me what happened? Or, okay, so with that situation, you know, we all just began to grow, you know, and when you're growing and you're evolving, you know, things that I would have wanted to do 5 years from that time, I wasn't trying to do no more.
Yes.
And sometimes when I felt like in the beginning I could be in a bubble and just do one thing, I started to feel like, well maybe I want to do 5 things or 6 or 7, and that's what I want to do. So, you know, it's not a bad thing. It was just that as I evolved, we all evolved, and we just evolved.
Yeah. One school of thought is that people can only really do one thing, you know, one thing at a time. Whereas you said you want to do 5 or 6 things. I'm in your camp. I agree we can do several things well at one time. What's your reaction to kind of that old school way of thinking?
You know, I will say that I do kind of believe in that thought where, you know, you only can you can do multiple things, but what can you be great at?
Right.
And for me, I think that once you find the core, which is what you're great at, then from there you create those other arms to do other things. You know, I'm a pretty solid person, you know, so I can come in the house and cook, take care of some kids, mop a floor, and still have my purse on my shoulders because ask my kids, you know.
Right.
But that comes from being intentional again.
Okay.
I got to make it.
All right. As you acquire more success, you work with more celebrity clients, you get more write-ups in press and media, you acquire more critics, or haters as we call them. How do you handle your critics?
You know what? I just keep being great. Just keep being great. Smile and be happy and show them that, you know, most of what they think is not true. You don't even know me. You on the outside looking in. Get to know me. You gonna love me. You gonna want to be my friend.
This is true, yes.
You want to be my friend. You know?
All right. Tell us about the darkest time in your life, how you got through that, and what did you learn from that experience?
The darkest time in my life, again, was something really personal that I shared earlier, was when my children's father was incarcerated. That was a really dark time, you know, trying to raise children who one day saw their dad and the next day he wasn't around. You know, for a minute it was something that I felt in any interview that I wasn't going to share, you know, but I believe in being real, and it's my story, you know. So I got through that by, one, having an amazing mother. You know what I mean? My mom jumped right in and just was like, yo, give me the wheel. Let me guide the wheel for a little bit. We gonna get straight. And you know, and I just learned from that was a time of healing. It was a time of showing myself who I really was. And, you know, in mothering, you learn so much. And just, I don't know, I grew so much in that moment where I thought it was so dark, but it was like a caterpillar stage. You know, you look at a caterpillar and you like, this thing is so ugly. How could it ever become something so beautiful? And I believe that was who I was at that time. And now I'm this beautiful butterfly that's just flying all around LA in the sun.
Yes. To the beach.
Enjoying her life, you know? So,
right.
yeah, that was a hard time.
Yeah, it sounds like it. If you meet someone today who's going through a similar time and maybe they don't have a mom who can jump right in and help them, what advice would you give that person?
I would really tell that person that, you know, it's something that I've said the whole time. It's that inside out thing. You got to love yourself. You got to figure out who you are and what you really want and what you really bring to the table. What is your self-worth? Like, that's a big deal, not just for women, but for men too. You got to have self-worth. I got a long way with having self-worth, you know, because I've been in situations where I could have chose the non-self-worth way, you know, but instead, I'm going to do it the hard way. I'm going to know who I am. I'm going to believe in who I am, and I'm going to just believe.
Yeah, exactly. I think I know the answer to this question, but I'm going to ask it anyways. Who was the most influential person for you growing up?
My mom.
Okay. Tell us why.
My mom. My mom always let me be who I was. She never tried to change me or mold me or put me in a box. As a kid. Like, seriously, I was a very challenging teenager, you know? And my mom never put, like, a grip on me. She just always said, you're going to be something. Mm-hmm. And just watching her be a single mother and handle me and my brother and make it, and never made us feel like we didn't have. And to talk to her now and she say things like, she would ask for a French fry. And I was so stingy when I was young. I'd be like, why she didn't get her own French fries? Why I got to give her one of mine? And she said, I really couldn't afford to buy myself food. So I would get y'all McDonald's and then go home and make me something to eat. Mm-hmm. And to just think that she always put us first and now put my kids first. She's a hell of a woman.
Yeah. And just so people know, you grew up, Southeast?
Yes.
Southeast D.C., which, you know, historically has been a little bit rougher, shall we say? What's the fair way to describe it?
I mean, come on. It's, let's just say that you come out of there with a lot of wounds. You know, whether they be physical or mental.
Yeah.
And you just, you know, I look back at home and say people like me don't make it from where I'm from.
True.
You know, and to just make it, it's amazing.
Yeah. What do you find easy to do that your friends find hard to do?
Walk away. I'm done.
I love that answer. Tell us what you mean. I love that answer.
I'm done. You're not gonna make me get out of my character. I'm out of here. I'm done. I can walk away. See y'all. I'm done. Y'all go left. I'm going right. If it's not work, I mean, I'm not a good pretender, you know. So if I'm not happy in a situation, I tend to drive my own car. You know, if things, I'm done.
How did you acquire that skill? That's a hard skill. How did you acquire that skill?
Again, my mom always let me be. If I didn't want something, she didn't make me eat it. She didn't make me wear what I didn't want to wear. She let me be in control of how I did my hair very young. She let me be a person with a voice. And so at 43 years old, I'm going to use my voice. No, I'm done. That's easy for me.
I love it. I'm done. Walk away.
I'm done.
What would you like to be better at?
I would like to be better at maybe going out now, being a little bit more social.
Oh.
I don't go out that much anymore.
Why not?
It's because everything to me right now has just been business. You know, I'll go to functions if it's business related and things like that, but getting more back into having a social life right now. I got to get better at that. I'm working on that.
Get you some art gallery exhibits, some readings, some music concerts. Yeah.
I do stuff like that, but just... I don't know. Just, I don't know.
You want to go to the club, like the Ritz, circa 1988? What do you want to do?
I do go. I mean, but relaxing more from the business.
Got it.
And,
understood.
You know, if I do, when I do go out, it's like the spa or to the beach, more meditative things like that.
Meditative. Yeah. Okay. Now, when you were 21, you were still in D.C., right?
Yeah, I was a mom.
Okay, so we're going to go down D.C., off maybe Martin Luther King Boulevard. All right. Meet up with 21-year-old Natasha.
Uh-oh.
What advice would you give your younger self based on what you know now?
You know what? So at 21 years old, I literally was living in Virginia. I had my own apartment in Arlington. I had a job at the Pentagon, working as a dental assistant, and I had a baby. So 21-year-old Natasha was like looking for a way out of DC for real. Like, what was she supposed to be? I would tell Natasha, you got this, sis. You got it. You got it. You really do have it. Just believe. Because she was worried.
Okay, that's good. I can understand why she would be worried.
She was worried.
Yeah. What is the one lesson in life that took you the longest to learn?
When people show you who they are, believe them.
Mm-hmm. I think Maya Angelou first said that, but tell us why that resonates so much with you. I agree 110%. So
because we all want to believe that we didn't see this or see that. You saw it. Girl, boy, come on. You saw all of it. You saw it. You just didn't want to believe it. And so for now, I'm, I might not respond to everything that I see, but it's noted. A little check mark. Okay. Believe when people show you who they are.
Yeah.
Believe it. And that will get you far in life.
That's a hard lesson to follow because you think you can change people, but it's not happening.
No, people only change when they're ready. And that's hard because as a person who wants to heal everybody, I'm wondering like, why you just don't do it? Why you just don't get it right? Especially when you go back home. I'm like, well, won't you just move? No, I'm good right here. Okay. I'm not saying everybody need to move.
True.
But move off this porch.
Yes. Yes. Every great person has a sentence. What is your sentence? For example, my sentence is, I love to help people unlock their creativity by teaching them how to DJ. What is your sentence?
Something that I say to everybody. Oh, I say this to everyone. A closed mouth will not get fed. That's my motto. I say that to my kids probably every single day. And I say that a lot because it's the truth. You could sit here and be a dreamer all day long and think something's going to fall out the tree, but you got to go make it happen.
Yes. Amen. What is one new habit that you've added to your daily routine in the past year or so that has been most beneficial?
Meditating.
And how did you get started meditating? Because many people want to get started, but they get stuck in the process and how to get going.
I think what I started to do is YouTube, like 3-minute meditation experiences. And I would wake up in the morning, and my thing is, before my feet touch the ground, I turn that on, and I get into my Zen. And it really, really helps to be quiet and still. Like, I think silence is so powerful.
Yeah.
And that's really helped me a lot.
Nice. We're really big readers here on the Amani Experience podcast. If you were going to recommend 1, 2, or 3 books that people should read or listen to on Audible, and stop what they're doing right now and start these books immediately, what books come to mind?
Oh, my goodness. I can't think of, I got a lot of stuff that I look at, but I can't think of names right. Like, I'm literally...
What's maybe like one of the books you might have listened to in the last year or two that really stuck with you?
So what I've been listening to lately has been more on like the whole Reiki experience.
Okay.
So a lot of the stuff might not even be stuff that people are into.
Maybe.
It's all on Reiki and learning about a lot of self-help, things like that.
Any self-help books that have been particularly beneficial for you or helpful?
I'm still reading books from back in the day, which was Ayala Van Zet.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, her books for me have always been game-changing.
Okay, good. We can list some of those as well.
Absolutely.
So we'll put some of her books on there. Those are good. This is back in like early 90s, late 80s. So, yeah, we'll put some of her top books up there.
Okay, let's do that.
All right. As you think back, what has been the best advice that you've ever received?
Some of the best advice that I've ever received was 80-20.
Okay, tell us what that advice said. Go ahead.
So 80-20 is listen 80%, talk 20. And I don't know if y'all knew what that meant, but
I like your explanation. Yeah.
Be a listener. You learn more.
What's the saying? God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so this guy told me one time, he said, the rule to life is 80-20. Listen more and speak less. So.
I love it. Now, you a sports fan at all?
I have some. I try to keep up with stuff.
Okay.
Because I have clients, but I can't say that I really keep up.
Okay. What are you still follow the DC area teams? Maybe.
Not no more. I don't follow them no more.
Okay, we're gonna say you're at a Lakers game.
Okay.
So and you're walking out in Staples Center. They introduce you, say Natasha Ray is coming to the court. What song is playing as you walk up to the court?
Wait a minute. What song is playing? Hold up. What song is playing? I don't know. That's old music.
I mean, you could represent DC, put on some Junkyard or some Rare Essence if you want.
No, what would they be playing? We could put on some old school. We could put on some Essence.
Okay.
Old school DC.
Yeah.
House.
We could. Which particular Essence song?
I'm not gonna say. I like all the bad songs. Come on.
Okay. I'll pick a good one for you.
Go ahead.
Some Rare Essence.
So which one you gonna pick?
I don't know. I'm gonna surprise you. When you listen to the episode, I'm gonna surprise you. We got some Essence for you though.
Okay.
Yeah, good to see you, man. Come on. Here comes the body snatchers. Yeah, gangsta turns. Snatch your bodies up, we are. Yeah, hey, sugar hero. Here comes the body snatchers. Yeah, hey, big dirt, yo. Snatch your bodies up, we are.
All right. Before I ask you the final question, Tell the people how they can find you online, how they can find your products, and maybe make an appointment to have a wonderful grooming experience with you.
Awesome. So you can email me. You can go on my website, which is www.noirgrooming.co. You can go on to my Instagram. It's @noirgrooming. And yeah, you can book online too. And you can also go onto my store. That's on the website as well.
And get all your products, everything there.
Everything's there.
Boom. For actually the final question, thank you very much for appearing on the show. It's been a pleasure. I love your perspective. You're a fellow DMV native. I love how you talk about being intentional and everything like that. So much respect. I appreciated my treatment I had with you. I'll be back soon. And we let all our guests kind of take us home with any last-minute words of wisdom or advice. So I'll say thank you again and take us home.
I would just want to tell any young woman or young man out there that's, pondering on their purpose, Again, as I said many times in this podcast, it's about that inside work, and finding what makes you happy, and working on that and not getting caught up in the social media. And yes, social media is a great thing for certain things, but when you don't know your purpose, you get caught up and you lose sight of what's real. So I would tell anyone out there, just stay focused, believe, start meditating, start eating right, get some sea moss.
Keep on.
And just, find out what makes you happy and love life. That's it. I'm out.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Amani Experience podcast. You can check out the show notes on amaniexperience.com/podcast. Please remember to leave us a review on the platform you are listening on and share this podcast with anyone who you feel would benefit from listening. See you soon for our next episode.